This really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. I was killing it in the car.
All right, you might want to grab a seat because today we're diving into one of the juiciest celebrity dramas of the year. If you've ever laughed at Ryan Reynolds' cheeky Mint Mobile ads or loved his quick-witted social media roasts, this is about to be a ride you won't want to miss. Ryan might have just pushed his humor too far, and the fallout could cost him his beloved partnership with Mint Mobile, a brand he's built from the ground up. Now, I'm not just talking about a harmless jab or a little internet buzz. This time, his humor has sparked an all-out corporate disaster. From snarky comments about fellow Hollywood figures to major corporate panic, we're about to break down what happened, how it all went wrong, and where it might leave Ryan and Mint Mobile moving forward. Stick with me. This one's a roller coaster, and trust me, you're going to want to stay until the end for the plot twist. When you think of Ryan Reynolds, you probably think of snarky one-liners, playful roasts, and that signature charm that makes him universally adored by fans. From his legendary portrayal of Deadpool to his brutally honest Twitter feed, Ryan has built a brand on being irreverent, self-deprecating, and, let's be real, just plain hilarious. Whether he's poking fun at his Deadpool co-stars, trolling fans, or roasting his own movie career, Ryan never takes himself too seriously, and his fans love him for it. This very attitude has fueled the success of Mint Mobile, the budget-friendly wireless provider he helped turn into an unexpected powerhouse. It's the perfect fit. Ryan's sharp wit and unpredictable humor mixed with Mint's cheeky advertising style. Instead of the typical boring corporate approach, Mint's ads feature Ryan in over-the-top comical skits that go viral every time. From super casual celebrity cameos to his hilarious commentary on everything from big phone companies to absurdly expensive wireless plans, Ryan's marketing genius has made Mint a household name. Mint wasn't just selling a service, it was selling a brand experience. And that experience was one of fun, irreverence, and no-nonsense humor. But here's the twist. While Ryan's humor hits all the right notes for fans who love an offbeat punchline, it doesn't always sit well with everyone, especially when that humor strays into controversial territory. And let's be real, Ryan is no stranger to pushing boundaries, but when the corporate world, particularly the corporate behemoth that just acquired Mint T-Mobile, gets involved, suddenly that boundary-pushing humor might not look so cute. It's one thing to joke around with your friends on social media, it's another thing to risk alienating entire corporate stakeholders who are watching your every move. So what exactly triggered all of this chaos? Enter Justin Baldoni, a name that if you've been paying attention, you've probably seen floating around in the media recently. Justin, actor, director, and philanthropist, has long been known as a charming leading man with a heart of gold. He's dedicated his career to meaningful causes and even tackled tough topics like mental health and relationships through his work. Most recently, he's been the face of the controversial It Ends With Us adaptation, based on the best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover. Now, we all know Ryan's humor loves to target the big guys, whether it's other A-list stars, corporate entities, or anything else that might deserve a playful jab. But when Ryan took aim at Justin Baldoni during a skit in Deadpool, things got a little more personal. You see, Ryan's Deadpool character is famous for breaking the fourth wall and making fun of everything from Hollywood tropes to social issues. But this time, he aimed his sarcasm at Justin, and let's be honest, it didn't come off as just a random joke. Ryan cracked a few jabs that seemed to target Baldoni's work, particularly his involvement with It Ends With Us. The way Ryan talked about Baldoni's role, some fans felt that it was more than just playful humor. It felt like a dig at Justin's image and his current legal troubles. This wasn't just another celebrity roast on Twitter. This was a carefully scripted moment in a major Hollywood franchise that some took as a personal attack. But what really stirred the pot was the context behind the joke. The rumors swirling around Baldoni's behind-the-scenes disputes regarding It Ends With Us only made the whole situation feel even more loaded. And when you throw Ryan's brand of sarcastic comedy into the mix, it becomes clear why some people were left wondering, was this just another funny gag, or was Ryan going too far? Now, let's zoom out for a second and think about Mint Mobile. When you think of Mint, you don't just think of budget plans or cell towers. You think of Ryan Reynolds' personality, his humor, his irreverence. Mint Mobile thrived because it was the cool alternative to big-name telecoms like Verizon and AT&T. They marketed themselves as the quirky, rebellious underdog that didn't take itself too seriously. It's what set Mint apart from the sea of bland corporate speak ads that we've all come to expect from the big guys. But then came T-Mobile, a company with a much more polished corporate image. When T-Mobile acquired Mint Mobile, it seemed like a match made in heaven. Better coverage, more resources, maybe even some improvements to Mint's already successful marketing. The idea of Mint merging with T-Mobile gave fans hope for even bigger things. But what no one expected was the tension between Ryan's unfiltered style and T-Mobile's more traditional approach to branding. While T-Mobile might have loved the idea of making Mint Mobile more accessible to a broader audience, they weren't exactly on board with Mint's cheeky, risk-taking humor. Ryan's edgy jokes worked for a scrappy indie brand like Mint. But for a giant like T-Mobile, those same jokes could easily become a PR nightmare. As soon as Ryan's joke about Justin Baldoni started to blow up, T-Mobile's higher-ups started to sweat. In their eyes, it was no longer just a joke. It was a potential crisis. If Ryan's humor started crossing into controversial or sensitive areas, it could tarnish T-Mobile's carefully curated mainstream image. So what did T-Mobile do when the flames started rising? Panic mode, think frantic conference calls, internal emails flying around, and a group of execs probably wondering whether they made a huge mistake by bringing Ryan on board in the first place. T-Mobile is a behemoth. They've got billions of customers, a reputation to protect, and investors who don't want to see any sort of drama, or worse, lawsuits, hitting the headlines. Imagine this. One of their most well-known spokespeople, a man known for pushing every comedic boundary, is now stirring the pot in a way that could affect the brand's public image. This wasn't just about some cheeky tweet or an offhand joke anymore. This was about potential backlash. Could Ryan's humor hurt the relationship between T-Mobile and Mint's new customers? Could it drive away fans who are uncomfortable with edgy content? Would it cause a feud with Baldoni's team, potentially even sparking legal trouble for T-Mobile? What's worse, the executives weren't exactly sure how far Ryan's influence went. After all, Mint's cheeky marketing was largely driven by his viral ads, so taking him out could send the wrong message to Mint's loyal base. At the same time, continuing to let him do his thing could risk alienating customers who weren't down with the snarky humor. T-Mobile had a difficult decision on their hands, and the clock was ticking. Let's talk about Ryan's real impact on Mint Mobile. Without Ryan, Mint wouldn't be where it is today. Sure, they'd still have cheap plans, but would they have the same viral success? Would they be the cool carrier that gets attention for all the right reasons? Absolutely not. Ryan Reynolds isn't just a spokesperson. He's the face of the brand. His snarky humor, his style, and his unapologetic marketing genius are all part of what makes Mint unique. The thing about Ryan is that he's become a walking advertisement in himself. People don't just see him as the guy who makes funny commercials. They see him as someone who represents a brand that challenges the status quo. He's Mint Mobile's secret weapon in a sea of boring corporate ads. If T-Mobile decided to mute Ryan or try to force him to adopt a more corporate, family-friendly persona, they risked losing that edge that made Mint stand out in the first place. What makes Mint different isn't just low prices. It's Ryan's humor. It's the cheeky vibe, the irreverence that brands customers to the company. If they try to go safe and sanitized, it could be a recipe for disaster. Mint could easily lose its cool factor and become just another discount carrier, and T-Mobile wouldn't want that. Would T-Mobile risk alienating Ryan's loyal fan base for the sake of a more polished image? All right, so where does this leave Ryan, Mint Mobile, and T-Mobile? Is Ryan going to be forced to dial back his humor? Will T-Mobile try to change the whole tone of Mint's marketing strategy? Or will they realize that the very thing that makes Mint unique, Ryan's rebellious humor, is exactly what they need to keep things fresh? There are a few possible outcomes. Best case scenario, T-Mobile sees the viral success that Ryan brings to the table and decides to let him keep his snarky humor, but with a few guidelines. They could find a way to keep Mint edgy without getting into trouble. Worst case scenario, T-Mobile tries to silence Ryan or even replaces him with a more safe figure. Fans revolt and Mint loses its identity. Ryan might go on to create a new brand and Mint becomes just another part of the corporate machine. Middle ground scenario, T-Mobile works with Ryan to find a balance. He can still make edgy jokes, but has to steer clear of personal attacks on people like Baldoni. This way, Mint keeps its humor without crossing any lines. The question remains, whose side are you on in this drama? Do you think Ryan's humor is the heart and soul of Mint Mobile's success? Or did he cross a line when he dragged Justin Baldoni into the joke? And more importantly, should T-Mobile try to rein him in or let him do his thing? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more updates on this saga. You won't want to miss what happens next.